I knew I shouldn't have walked down this dark alley alone at night, but it's the fastest way home. Suddenly a shadow detaches itself from the wall. He was 7 feet tall. He smelled like gunpowder, expensive whiskey, and trauma.
Are you lost, little moth?
How does he know my name? Please, sir, I was just trying to get home. Please don't kill me.
Kill you? No, I don't want to kill you. I want to chain you up and play all my dark fantasies out on you.
I should run. He's literally a criminal who just admitted to wanting to kidnap me, but his eyes, they were the color of liquid danger. And when he growled, my ovaries did a kickflip.
You smell like innocence and vanilla bean. If another man even looks at your left elbow, I will burn this city to the ground. Now get in my Lamborghini.
Wait, what's your name?
My name? My name is Flame.
And just like a moth to a flame, I couldn't resist.
This is good shit. This is what you subscribe to my channel for. You know what? And that still might have been better than the Wattpad book I wrote when I was 13. I am not hating romance books in this video. I love romance books. Hell, I have been reading romance books since I was 13 and discovered Wattpad for the first time. Nobody ever forgets their first I hid my pregnancy from this guy who is now a millionaire, and it has been accidentally revealed to him that I was pregnant and had his children, and now we're gonna start dating to each other and fall in love and raise our children together. Book trope, right? We've all experienced that. I've even written a romance book, a smutty romance book, or two, or started at least writing 2 or 3 or 4. My favorite has to be a book that I wrote 2 whole chapters of, be proud of me, about a young artist who ends up falling in love with her older mentor, but then she has to leave for school. My least favorite has to be the one I wrote and published to Wattpad when I was 13 about a werewolf assassin who is mated to an alpha. Mine was said. Hearts were broke. Over 200,000 reads were read. Mind-boggling that I got even a single read, but no, it went mini viral on Wattpad. I fear we have reached a point though with romance books, specifically dark or taboo romance books, where we have quite literally lost the plot. Hi, my name is Sam and I really like to yap. Today I will be yapping about how dark romance books as a genre, it is beginning to bleed into a similar brain-rotting category as porn. Again, before we begin, oh, there goes my lighting. Again, before we fully begin, I am not here to yuck anybody's yum. I will be discussing several different dark romance books in this video, namely Haunting Adeline, Lights Out, and a few other mentions here and there. Some of these books I will not be talking very highly of. Not you, Lights Out. Never you. I love you. If this is a genre that you absolutely love, or if these are books that you love, or if you are the author, a family member of the author, a friend of the author, if you even know the author and you like them, click off of this video. Why did you click on it to begin with? I am a hater at heart. No, I'm not. I'm a lover. I'm sorry. I hate to admit it. I'm a bit of a lover girl, but I will be hating on these books. So this video, it's not for you. So sit it out. Skip it. Go to a different video. Go to a video where somebody is talking about their love for these books. I will not be, because I did not love them. We need to have a very serious and slightly uncomfortable conversation about the absolute brain rot that is currently plaguing the book community, because I feel like I'm losing my mind, honestly. We have lost the plot. I am talking about the industrial complex of dark romance and how it is single-handedly dismantling our ability to identify red flags, and it is warping our mind into believing that certain behaviors from men are okay, and it is warping men's mind to make them believe that those behaviors are okay. And they are not, because we are at a point where we are confusing passion with call the police. And nobody seems to be batting an eye, which is the craziest part of all of this. I love a good book. I love romance. I love escapism. But we need to discuss the fact that some of these books are not romance. They are fully psychological horror stories with a marketing budget and a cartoon cover. We are rewiring our neural pathways to think that trauma bonding is the same thing as soulmates, and it is ruining safe dating environments for women. It's the concept of dark romance still being seen as romance. Let's start with the elephant in the room, or should I say, I don't know what I was going to say. We're going to start with the elephant in the room, the masked man himself, haunting Adeline. Listen. I know people love this book. I know Zaid Meadows has a chokehold on book talk. I read this book. I did. It was about a year and a half ago now that I read this book. I was locked in at the beginning. I had just finished Lights Out. I was like, man, I'm ready for dark romance. I posted about how I finished Lights Out, and I was like, oh, reading a dark romance. Oh my gosh, I just read Lights Out, a dark romance. And then somebody commented on that TikTok. They were like, just wait till you read Haunting Adeline. And so I was like, yes, I'm ready for it. I loved Lights Out. I was not ready for it. I got traumatized. And that is because, like I said, I was so locked in the beginning. And then it got to a point where I quickly realized maybe stalking isn't a cute, quirky trope. Like, can we please take a step back and look at the material reality of this situation? The man is a stalker. And not in a cute, I noticed that you like your coffee black, so I brought you a black coffee kind of way. It's more in a, I'm breaking into your house to manipulate your environment, terrorize, and essay you. That's the stalking trope that we are romanticizing. Is that really the direction that we're going in here? Why are we swooning over this man? Why are we giggling and kicking our feet? Because if Zaid Meadows showed up in your actual life, you would not be blushing. You would hopefully be filing a restraining order. But because it is written down, suddenly his refusal to accept the word no is seen as dedication. It's not dedication, babes. It's a felony. Say it with me. Zaid Meadows for prison 2026. Haunting Adeline glorified rape. Period, point blank. I don't care any other opinions you may have on this book. That is for a fact what happened. If you went to Pornhub and typed in, not even Pornhub, I don't even think Pornhub has this type of content. If you went to some dark website and you typed in rape porn, a scene very similar to the first scene as Haunting Adeline would show up. And people rightfully criticize people that watch that content and consume that content because, quite frankly, it is disgusting. Just because her body responded in a way, and I beg you to open your ears and listen to what I'm about to say, she did not want it to, does not mean a damn thing. She said no several times in their first sex scene, and he continued to pursue her. I'm pretty sure, and correct me because my memory, I tried to erase it after reading this book, pretty sure he uses a knife hilt on her, if I'm remembering correctly, or a gun, one of the two. But again, I tried to wipe my memory of this book, so I could be wrong. And that was just like the smut of this book, which was awful. But don't even get me started on the point of view switching, where it went from normal-ish scenes of her. I'm pretty sure she was an author, and like she like inherited her grandma's like haunted house or something like that. Again, tried to wipe this from my memory, but switching from that to his job, his actual real life human job that they tried to convince us a human being would have, where he is just like straight up murking people and making money off of it. I despise this book with a deep-rooted passion, just to say the least. And it's not just H.D. Carlton. Like, I'm not just shitting on that author. It is this whole subgenre that has been so popularized on Book Talk. I have this book. Let me go get it. I brought it with me. I returned Haunting Adeline after I finished it because it was so bad. I needed to cleanse it from my mind. But this next book I'm going to talk about, I do hold in my possession still. It is called Evil Boys by Clarissa Wilde. I should have known better, but I bought this book 2 years ago when I had like just joined Book Talk, and I was like, yeah, let me take like these dark romance suggestions. They're gonna be so good. I had read Hooked at this point in my life by Emily McIntyre, which the series, it does have some, the Never After series by Emily McIntyre. It has its problematic moments, but that is another dark romance series that I don't think is terrible. Like from what I remember, there's like max 5 smut scenes like in those books, but like I feel like Scarred had like 1 or 2 tops, maybe 3. Like those ones aren't terrible because they're not like oversaturated with smut. And yeah, they do have not even morally gray, just like villains as main characters, but that's kind of like the point of them. I don't know, that series perplexes me when it comes to this topic, but I do like that series. This book, however, is so bad and oversaturated with smut that I started to skip over the smut scenes just to try to find the tiniest ounce of plot. I swear to God, I think there is a smut scene in every chapter of this book, which has, you know what, I just realized how many chapters it has, and this might have been the only good thing that the author did. It has 69 chapters. That's funny. I'll give her that. I genuinely think that there's a smut scene in every chapter, and there's multiple point of view shifts. It's a romance between, I think, 3 guys and 1 girl, possibly 2 guys and 1 girl. But their point of views are switching off within the book all the time. Let me read for you how this book starts. I stare at the list of names hastily scribbled on the paper Felix stuffs into my hand. I don't want you hanging out with any of these people, got it? He says, staring down at me. You've been here a couple months now, so I hope for your sake you haven't talked to any of them. My eyes transfix on the names. At the top in bold are 2 names, Nathan Reed and Kai Torres. Okay, so it's between 2 people. It's 2 guys, 1 girl. And beneath that, practically all the guys from the same fraternity. Phantom Society. I forgot how bad this was. Good God. I don't even know these people. Wait, no. I don't even know who these people are, I mutter. Annoyed he's making my life more difficult. As usual. Good. Keep it that way, he says, stuffing his hands into his pocket. I lower the paper and raise my brow at him. You for real? I don't know why she has a Valley Girl accent, but she does in my head. He squints. It's your first real fucking year here, and you don't know the university like I do. Those fucking phantoms can't be trusted. Why? I ask. Felix's eyes narrow. Doesn't matter. Don't even think about them. He looks around the campus at the people walking and sitting in the grass, nervously biting the inside of his cheek. How would you notice when somebody's doing that? Do I just have huge cheeks? Because I guess you can notice. I don't know. His eyes settle on 3 boys smoking near the fountain. It is 3! Okay, yeah, it is 3 guys, 1 girl, which is insane. But yeah, Felix is her brother. She tries to scare her off of these boys, but obviously she, like, pursues them. Let me read the first point of view from one of the guys. Okay, so this is Nathan's point of view, the first point of view shift. The first point of view shift in this book, and it's on page 11, mind you. I'm not going to read that whole first paragraph. The whole first paragraph is essentially just him noticing her. But then he says, I know that girl. She has those same hollow eyes as Felix, only with a much bigger smile on her face. A smile I'd happily crush in my hands just to get a glimpse at his rage. Take another drag of my smoke and chuck it into the fountain. I genuinely just got so sad reading that because of how not good it is. So yeah, the guys' names are Kai, Milo, and Nathan, and then the girl's name is Lana. They basically stalk her. Yeah. The boys, murk people. I think for funsies. I can't remember exactly. And plot twist, she also murks people for funsies. So their first meet cute is literally her having someone for funsies and them finding her because they were gonna that same person. And so they chase her down because they took that kill, or she took that kill first. And you get great literature such as, okay, sorry, I was gonna read a part after saying that, but I just flipped through chapters like 60 to 62, and I have read bang, like the action word, just bang, exclamation point, all caps, italicized. I think I've read it a total of at least 12 times now. Girl, you know, there it is again. Oh my god, and again. There's other ways to describe a shot going off besides bang. Like, let's find some new verbs, why don't we? Or not verbs. What is that when it's a noise? Is that an onomatopoeia? I'm pretty sure that's an onomatopoeia. Yeah, there's more onomatopoeias that exist in this world, and you can find them and use them. Anyway, I don't know if I'm gonna find a particularly standout terrible moment in this book. Holy fuck, I have never seen him collapse like that. What the fuck happened? This is so bad. I simply cannot with this book. Yeah, she gets kidnapped at one point, and if my memory serves me correctly, she gets kidnapped at one point. And because she's this badass girl, she manages to like fight off all of the kidnappers herself or something like that, I think, before like the guys can come in and help her. And listen, I am all for girl power in books. I love it. Feminism, give it to me. Misandry, give it to me. I'm obsessed with that. But are we being so for real right now? Like, yeah, this girl, people for fun, but she just like, in all logical senses, I don't think she would be able to fight off an entire crime organization by herself. Unless she's like Black Widow. But she's not. This isn't a superhero book. This book doesn't only have bad writing, but it feels like every chapter is like what happens at the beginning of pornos. Like that's the writing of these characters is equivalent to porn actor acting. That's the best way I can describe it. And we love to draw this big moral line between smut and porn, acting like one is a fun literary hobby and the other is a bad habit. But let's be real. They are feeding the exact same loop in your brain. Just because you're processing it through words instead of pixels doesn't mean they aren't doing the same thing, especially if you are over-consuming it. It is still about chasing that quick chemical hit. The way we engage with modern romance, using all these specific tags and trope checklists. I literally opened a book the other day, and the top line, like where the description would be, was literally, get all your enemies to lovers, dark romantasy, all in one book. And I was like, girl, we have that everywhere. The market is oversaturated with that. And that happens so often. We've got enemies to lovers, mafia bosses, and kidnapping, whatever it may be. And it's getting to a point where it feels like it's like the filtering category on like porn sites. Readers that engage only with this content and overconsume this content are no longer looking for a story. They're looking for a guaranteed reaction and for a way to get to the feeling of intimacy without any of the friction or risk of actually dealing with a fleshed out human character. And that is the same exact brain rot we see with chronic porn usage. It flattens out your view of reality. When you consume so much content that is designed to be constant high stakes passion with zero downtime, real life starts to feel incredibly boring. You start training your brain to view partners as characters who are supposed to hit specific plot beats, and when they don't, because they are human beings and not written by an author, you get frustrated. Whether it is on screen or in a paperback, if you binge too much of this fast, constructed sex, you lose the patience for the messy, awkward, quiet parts of real connection. Porn is ruining men's ideas of love and intimacy, then the same thing is happening with women and smut being oversaturated in these romance books. And I am not at all saying that it is completely morally wrong and it should never ever be consumed. I love a good smutty book, but we need to consume it in proper quantities, and we need to be aware when the content that we are consuming is unhealthy and may genuinely start altering the way that we perceive people and situations. And the most frustrating part about this whole thing is that you can do dark romance without it being a manual for how to get, or with oversaturating it with smut. I said this earlier, but look at Lights Out by Nafisa Allen. I genuinely love this book. It is the only romance book in my entire life that I have given 5 stars. I've reread this book twice, and don't get me wrong, like, it has its moments where I definitely think that it could have some improvement, but it's still good. Like, the couple that stays together. When I first read that line, I was with my best friend, and we both just, like, outwardly cringed. But, like, it's, once you get past that, and, like, some of, like, it's definitely going to be a book where in a few years, if somebody were to pick it up and read it, and they didn't live through this time, they're going to be like, oh, why are they using lingo from that time? Like, mask talk being a thing. But it's still a good book. And it's a dark romance, but it's a dark romance with humanized characters that are conscious when they are making bad decisions and aren't trying to justify their bad decisions at every turn. Are dealing with the stalker in this book. I mean, it's a very, no, it's not a very similar, it's a somewhat similar dynamic to Haunting Adeline, where the male main character in the book stalks the female. He is like a super tech genius and like hacks things to like be able to stalk her. But he is so much more fleshed out than Zaid. And the part that I loved about Lights Out was how human they made Josh, because his dad is an actual like murderer in the book, and because of that he is always questioning like his own sanity and if that is something that can be inherited, if evil is inherited. Like, it genuinely is questioning those things, if evil is something that can be inherited. But at the same time, it's giving us a fun, kind of high-stakes, dark romance where he does stalk her, but he is stalking her with consent. He tells her several times, if you don't want this, say no. I will back off immediately. And she debates saying no, but she gives her consent, ultimately, in the end, before almost any situation. There is like a murky area at the beginning, but he again recognizes when what he is doing is bad in the moment. I can't express how much I loved this book for being dark while also walking the line of morality. And the two main love interests, they have so much banter. Allie and Josh, oh my god, I love those two. They are so cute. And then Fred, the cat, loved that there was a cat in this book. That was so good. And I love too that the cat, like the only man that Fred likes is Josh. I just think that's like the cutest little detail to add. But the main like darkness in this book, that like makes it a dark romance, it obviously, like, he stalks her. That is the dark part. But the real darkness comes from choices that the characters are making together and that they are handling in the way an actual human would handle. I'm not going to give any spoilers because if I could go back and reread this book for the first time, I absolutely would. So I'm like not going to like put that on anyone. Basically, the darkness isn't coming from the guy literally psychologically torturing the girl until she submits, or not even until she submits, just torturing her and then using non-consensual situations to get what he wants. Lights Out, in my personal opinion, proves that you can have edge and you can have spice, you can have the thrill, without the romantic interest being a literal villain and criminal to the woman. We need to raise the bar. Actually, scratch that. We need to dig the bar out of the fiery pits of hell. Please stop letting these authors convince you that fear is an aphrodisiac. It can be in the right amounts and in consensual situations. I am putting so much emphasis on that because these authors are fully writing non-consensual situations and then playing it off as something that's romantic. Stop normalizing the idea that men's obsession is a compliment. I have seen so many videos show up on my TikTok For You page lately of women with like actual stalker stories, and it is terrifying because the more we normalize stalking in romance books, the more we not only normalize it for ourselves of thinking something is like a cute obsession, but we're normalizing it for these men as well, who are either hearing about these books or reading these actual books and being like, this book is so popular, women must think that this is hot. And then they think it's okay. And these are men that have such a warped sense of their mind that they will do it. If somebody has to break you to love you, then that is not love. That is control. And the fact that we are normalizing and romanticizing this concept truly, truly, truly worries me for what women's current idea of love might be. Love is not a man being so obsessed with her that he would chain you up just to keep you or kill someone for you. That, my friends, is a police report. The more we normalize thinking that concepts like this are just so hot, the more men will have audacity to do these things. And the more we overconsume this dark smut or smut in general, the more our brains get rotted to real human connections. I know this video might be slightly controversial, especially to the book talk community, but like I said, like I am not judging anyone. I have been a person that has overconsumed these types of books way too much. I am not here to judge you. Like what you like at the end of the day, but like recognize that it could genuinely be affecting your psyche, your mental health, and how you view things in the real world. That is all for today's video. Thank you for yapping with me, and I will yap with you next time.